Test.
Ooh, it's really running.
All right. First of all, welcome to 8th grade orientation for the class of 2029. I know that sounds a little scary for some of you, and hopefully we'll get some of you to think a little bit about what the future may look like. I am Mark Schluckway. I have the honor of being the principal here at Brandon Valley High School. I believe 23rd year in the district. I spent 10 years in the classroom in the last 12 to 13 years in administration. So this place is near and dear to me, and this is one of my, I know we were talking about this today, we love this night. Okay, we love getting you guys here and starting the transition to the high school, and hopefully the information you get tonight will help just calm and ease things, and we're going to walk you through the process 1 year at a time. Here is our administrative team. Mr. Bill Frecking is over here. He's going to come out and speak in just a little bit. He is our activities director. Principal Mitzi Moore, right here. Mr. Paula is not with us tonight. He is at a family funeral tonight and tomorrow. So he wishes he could be here to meet some of you. But we break the alpha for our associate principals into A to K for last name for Principal Moore and L to Z for Mr. Paula. They do work with both sets of students, though. I would tell you if one of them is available and a student has a concern that they bring down, we don't stick, hey, your principal or your assistant principal is not available. They work with anybody. Our counseling staff, the backbone, and if you guys would wave as we introduce you, if you are the last names A through F, your counselor for the next 4 years will be Miss Lickness. G through K will be Mrs. Stemwettle. Over there. Mrs. Willman will be L through R. And Mrs. Murdy will be S through Z. When we're done tonight, they'll be around in the commons and things like that. If you need to visit with them, I'll put their picture back up again so you have a face. But here we go. Okay, this was taken the morning of graduation last year. Okay, May 13th, 2029 is when a lot of the students in here will be graduating. A couple things about Brandon Valley High School. I put this up because I want to begin with the end in mind. And some of you are like, why did he do that to us? Okay? The other thing I forgot to do, how many in the room is this your first high school kid? Get your hand way up. Okay, keep it up and look around. You're not alone. Okay? How many of this is it, like 3, 4? Okay, and you guys all survived, correct? All right, okay? But just know, we always begin with the end in mind. A little bit about the high school, just in a nutshell. Smarter Balance, we have 1 more year of what we call the Smarter Balance test, but these are current seniors, they took the test when they were juniors. Okay, so when we compare AA schools and we look at how the achievement at Brandon Valley High School is, you can see that ELA, we're number 1. Math, we are number 1, and it is not even close. I will tell you, our math department is strong, we are rigorous, and we prepare kids. Okay, and it's not about an assessment, it's not about a standardized test, but our math department is rocking it. We get a school performance index, which is a ton of different categories between college and career readiness, academic achievement, student attendance, all of it's kind of lumped in together. And I'm proud to say Brandon Valley High School was number 1 of the big schools in South Dakota for, I believe it's the last 6 or 7 years. And it's something that we are really, really proud of. And what it is crazy is I will show you this now just to set the table. And we don't talk about test scores. We don't talk about, hey, we have to be great on an academic test, okay? What we do is we try to create a high school and a culture and climate that allows all students to be successful, because every single path of every 8th grader sitting in here will look different. And that is one thing I am passionate about at the high school level, is we need kids to have authentic educational experiences while in high school, so when they leave high school, They know what they want to do, hopefully. That they don't go to a tech school or a four-year university and find out this is not what I want to do. My goal for every student in this room is to have an experience, an internship, a capstone that, yeah, that's really what I want to do. Or maybe they have an internship their senior year that I don't like that at all. Those are all successes. ACT math in the state of South Dakota when compared to the big schools. Composite, 23.1, but you can see the previous years on our ACT composite score. 8th graders in here, it's going to look a little different, okay, because every junior next year will take the ACT instead of a smarter balance test. So all students their junior year will now take the ACT. So we'll get new data. Overall, statistically, typically BVHS and Brookings are really, really close. They got us by a little. It's the first time they've gotten us in a while, but I'm not afraid to say when we're not number one in something either. But this just shows excellence across the board. It's us and Brookings and just a couple other schools. It's not just about academic achievement. This picture was taken about a week ago at the halftime or in between games at we call them a triple header. So this is our older Special Olympics group that played in between the boys and the girls games. And you want to talk about sheer joy, but we celebrate that. Okay, whether it's Best Buddies, a program that we have here that I think transformed us, and we were the first one in South Dakota to have it. And now it's spread throughout the state, and it's having a positive impact in many, many schools. Ooh. How many in the crowd are in this picture? Yeah, that's pretty cool. 40 students had the honor of All-State, is that what we call it, correct? A record in the state of South Dakota. That is a huge accomplishment. Let's give this group a huge round of applause. That is awesome. So we know the group that's coming is going to be great, okay? And we're going to get into the academics here in a minute. But along with the academic portion, I believe that a huge part of our success is getting involved. And I'm going to invite Mr. Frecking to come up to the mic real quick. Hey, normally, those of you who know me, you're like, why are you standing still? This isn't normal. I am not allowed to move because the camera for the recording tonight is right on me. And they said I can't move across the stage, and that is really difficult for me to do. It's even more difficult for Mr. Frecking. But let's bring Mr. Frecking up to talk a little bit about getting involved.
Thank you. I appreciate you all being here tonight. For those of you that had to listen to me a few minutes ago, I apologize that you get 2 doses in one evening. Nobody should have to do that. The biggest thing I'm here for, 8th graders, is I want to challenge you to become involved in something. We have a lot of different activities, clubs, fine arts, and sports that are up there, but we're always looking for new things that we can add on and make more opportunities for our students here at the high school. We challenge you to try to figure out something that really you're passionate about. The only thing we need to do to be able to get that off and running is to make sure you have a faculty advisor. So if you have something that you're interested in and you're passionate about, we just need to find a faculty advisor that would be willing to work with you on that. The biggest things that you're going to need to be prepared for next year when you start getting into activities. The biggest thing we do is you got to have a physical on file at the high school. So for most of you that have participated in activities, you'll need to start getting that. Don't rush out, parents, and do that right now and say, I'm going to hand that to you for next year. Because there's a cut date. We can't take any physicals until after April 1st. So I've had parents after this talk run out and get the physical, and they bring it in, and we have to do another one. So don't do that until after April 1st if you want to get, for those of you that get in on things right away, and get those taken care of. April 1st is the key deadline there. We will also be sending out things on Bound for registration. Those of you that participated in some activities during the course of your middle school career already are familiar with that and maybe already have set up a Bound account for that. But the biggest thing I've found out through activity is our students that are out for activities are more successful in what they want to do later in life because they know how to interact with others, They know how to be a part of a group that's bigger than themselves, and they're off the technology and they're doing something with others and interacting with them. So it does lead to higher achievement for those students. So whatever that might be, whatever your passion is, please try to find that. And if it's not up there, talk with me, talk with Mr. Shuckaway about how we can get that to be a part of our school environment. So with that, thank you all for coming. I'm turning it back over to Mr. Schleckaway. Appreciate you being here tonight. And if you have any questions, my office is not where everybody else is. I'm above the activities center. I'm not taking it personal that they moved me. But my office is up there. Feel free to stop in, just say hi, or talk about anything you need for activities. So thank you very much.
All right. Dates to remember. Our counselors will be at the middle school tomorrow, meeting with 8th grade students in their ELA classrooms. This will be the basic registration information. They'll walk them through step by step, similar to what we're doing today, but they even go a little bit more in depth. And then from there, those students will come home and discuss options with parents with the hopes of when they come back Wednesday. That's correct, right? February 19th? Okay, because we changed those dates a couple times. On February 19th, they will come back for final registration. And all we ask is those registration forms for all freshmen must be signed by a parent. We want this to be a collaborative approach to what next year looks like for your student. Oh, this will be sent out as a PDF after this, probably tomorrow morning. So those of you who are frantically taking notes, you will get all these dates, okay? Dates to remember. July 8th, marching band rehearsals start next summer, for those that will be interested in that. Those that will be in band, Mr. Nettestead will meet with you guys directly after this meeting here in the PAC. July 21st, marching band camp starts. August 4th will be cheer, dance, soccer for boys and girls, tennis for girls. August 6th, this is a date I'd really, really like everyone to remember and get into their calendars as you plan your summers. That will be Freshman Unity Day. That is the day, if you've had upperclassmen, you know what that entails for the freshmen. But our seniors will lead that day. We'll lead all of our incoming freshmen through a bunch of different activities. We found this event to be extremely successful at getting a freshman ready for high school and comfortable being in this building. August 11th, football and golf. August 13th will be Links Power Day. That's where we'll take the pictures, get your computer. I already know the times for freshmen, so we know if you're the last name A through L, you'll come between 4:30 and 5:15 on that day, and M through Z will be 5:15 to 6. If you do have a sibling that's coming earlier, we do allow freshmen to come with a sibling earlier in the day. It just works better if a family can just come once. Okay, but we do pictures on that day. And I forgot the slide this year on that. I was going to put some freshman pictures up of current seniors, but I forgot. But August 14th, cross country and volleyball, and first day of school will be August 20th. Basic academic information, okay, as you kind of look at your sheet. A year-long class like algebra, geometry, algebra 1A, those are considered a one-credit class, okay? But what's different is they're still broken up into two different semesters. So you earn a half credit for your work first semester, and then you earn a half credit for your work second semester, for example, for Algebra 1 throughout the entire year. Same with bio. A semester class like speech, geography, PE, those are only one half of the school year, quarter 1, quarter 2, or quarter 3, quarter 4, and those are worth a half a credit. A required course is one that all students must take while in high school. An elective is one that students have choice, but it fulfills the extra credits required for graduation. We're going to walk you through all that. A credit is not earned in a class with a failing grade. So if a student gets an F in a semester-long class, they do not earn that credit. If I get the question a lot, if they get a D minus, are they okay? Yep, a D minus, they would earn the credit, but an F, they would not. The number one thing, those of you 8th graders sitting in here, the number one thing that our seniors say every year at Freshman Unity Day is they wish they would have tried harder as a freshman. Okay? It's amazing how we mature, but think about that. And I would even say you need to finish 8th grade strong, okay? You guys will be taking Smarter Balance here in a little while. Some of those Smarter Balance scores could determine which English or math course you're in if you're kind of on that bubble, not knowing what to take, okay? So finish strong. Grade level placement is determined by your credits, okay? So here's what I always say. You can be a freshman once. You can be a sophomore forever, okay? Because there becomes privileges when you earn enough credits to be a junior and a senior, such as prom and things like that, okay? So regardless of how many credits you're in that freshman year, we still move you to a sophomore, but you can stay a sophomore forever. Just so you know, we graduate somewhere in the range of 98 to 99% of our students. Okay, so it's pretty significant. So very few students don't make it. We put a lot of time and energy into that because we want all students to graduate with that high school diploma. But there will unfortunately be some students that don't. I still go, right? You're not up yet? All right, I'll keep rolling. Here are the graduation requirements for Brandon Valley. Okay, you're going to need 4.5 English. So those of you that don't love ELA, you get it every year. Okay? The half comes from speech your freshman year. We have all of our freshmen, or most of our freshmen, take speech. Math, you need to have 3 credits. Science, you need to have 3 credits. If you are currently in a math and you are taking Algebra 1 for high school credit, now listen to this. If you are currently taking Algebra 1 for high school credit, that does not count toward your 3 high school math credits. Okay, so don't think you can come to high school and only take 2 math. Okay, that doesn't work that way. Social studies, social science, 3 credits. Fine arts, 1 credit. CTE, world language internship, 1 credit. Personal finance, a half credit. PE, a half credit. And 5.5 credits of elective. Most kids graduate with 24 to 28 credits. And we only require 22. Okay? You're up. Mrs. Stemlettle.
All right, so I'm going to start and I'm going to walk you through that yellow sheet that you guys all picked up. And I'm going to explain too that tomorrow when we go to the classes, white, what did I say, yellow? Or yellow, white? White. Okay, we're going to walk you through. We will have a pink one when we go to class tomorrow for the students. We will take either one when they turn it in. So if you fill it out tonight, you have that conversation, you sign it, that we will accept that. We just want you to be able to see kind of what the students go through. So I'm going to talk about English specifically out of these 22 credits. I'm going to talk about English specifically. What is important on these next few slides is to look at the green font. That's what we're talking about freshman year. We've listed everything, and that could be overwhelming, so don't worry about everything. Just look at the green font there. Okay, the other thing we're going to talk about in the book, when we explain to the kids tomorrow where the book is, and you could look online and see the book right now, we have these lovely flow charts that kind of show you the progression of all the major core subjects. So if we're looking at English, if you look across in pink, that's where the freshman level will be. The yellow is sophomore, green junior, senior is orange, and so on. So your choices for English, the majority of students will take regular English 9. If you are on more of an honors track, you see yourself maybe earning some college credits while in high school, maybe looking towards that opportunity scholarship, which we'll talk about when we're in class tomorrow, the student might be on the honors English 9 track. It is okay to take honors 9 even if you didn't take honors English 8 this year. Excuse me. It's also okay if you took honors 8 and it didn't go well to go back to regular English 9. We also have English 9A. This is for someone who English is a little bit more of a struggle, and we would put them in that class to make it a little bit easier. Okay? So that's explaining how that works. The honors classes at the high school all have a little bit of a different grading scale, so that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at challenging yourself. All right, so the way this sheet works, you would circle whichever English you think that you want to take, whether that's the English 9, the Honors English 9, or the English 9A. You would need to circle for both semesters. So you would need the English 9A and the English 9B, and that would give you 1 year of English. All right, that brings us to science. Again, out of the 22 credits, you need 3 credits of science to graduate. If we look at just what's written in green, we're going to make it really easy for you. All freshmen take biology. So on your sheet, circle biology. And actually, technology has made it so easy that I have already registered all of you in Skyward for biology. So, don't stress about that one. All right, you can take a look there, the other science classes that you can take. It is not uncommon for students to take science all 4 years, even though we only require 3 years of science. So circle biology. Okay, Mrs. Murdy's going to take you from there.
Okay, so next up are the math options. So like Mr. Schleckaway said, you do have to take 3 years of math in high school. So even if you are taking Algebra 1 for high school credit, you still have to take 3 high school math classes. So just depends on what math class you are in currently in grade 8 will determine what math class you will want to take next year. So we did try and make this flow chart as easy as possible depending on what class you are in grade 8. So if you are in 8A math, you will see the gray is your middle school math class, and then pink is your freshman math class. And here's a hint, you guys. We did these colors based on the colors you will actually wear for homecoming. So if you want to go shopping this summer, you guys wear pink for homecoming. So 8A math, you will go into Algebra 1A. 8 math, you will go into Algebra 1. And then 8 Algebra 1 are the students, as long as they do well on the semester test, you will go into geometry. So again, students currently enrolled in 8 math will go into Algebra 1. Just depends on that final test. And then students currently enrolled in 8A math, they will register for Algebra 1A. And then, excuse me, I mixed that up, but students currently enrolled in Algebra 1 as an 8th grader will register for geometry. We're just going to assume all of you do really well on that final test. Or you can retake Algebra 1. So there again, it brings you to that sheet. You will just circle based on what you're currently in grade 8 and what comes next in high school. So for those students who are in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, I kind of referred to this, but you do need to receive high school credit. A student must earn an 85% or higher in both semester 1 and semester 2 in Algebra 1 in grade 8. And then a student who receives Algebra 1 credit will have those same grades on their high school transcript. Okay, so the big thing is you just need to remember that this will start your high school GPA. So we do have some students that will choose to retake Algebra 1 in high school, even though they took it in grade 8. So again, you will just want to circle based on your option. So after math is PE, and this will just depend on your last name. So students only need half a credit for PE, and you guys, if PE is your thing, you can take it every year if you want, okay? So you only need half a credit, but you can take it every year if you want to. This is going to be based on last name. So if your last name starts with A through J, you will take PE second semester. If your last name is K through Z, you will take it first semester. You'll see on the back of the sheet, we have it kind of closer here, but you'll see your 3 options for PE. You will then, students, we will show you this tomorrow in class, but we'll show you the registration book, and it will have the descriptions for the specifics of these 3 PE classes. I think it's pretty straightforward what basic strength is going to be. It's going to be the weightlifting class. Fit for Life and Group Fitness. Fit for Life is the basic freshman PE class. There will be upperclassmen in it, but then Group Fitness is going to be like yoga, Pilates, those type of things. But we will show you that tomorrow, the registration booklet. So you will pick your PE classes based on your last name. So remember, if you're K through Z and you take it first semester, that course code is going to end in an A. If your last name is A through J, you're taking PE second semester, and it's going to end with a B. Okay, so next up is the CTE class. For those of you who have upperclassmen already in high school or they graduated from Brandon Valley High School, this is a small change. You might remember that we required computer. We're changing it a little bit. We realize that some students computer might not be their thing, so we are encouraging students to take a CTE class or a career and technical education class. We want students to take CTE to explore career options. Okay, CTE classes are hands-on classes. So we offer CTE in our building where students can cook. Students can take human development, known as the class where you take the baby home. Okay, the mechanical baby that cries all night, moms and dads, yes. Okay, then we also have classes like woodworking. Okay, you may have noticed, depending on what way you came in, our students are building cabins for Yogi Bear. Really, really cool. We have ag classes. Depending on the time of year, we will get something it's really fun. We'll have something in the announcements where there are baby calves in the classroom, which is really fun for us in the office because we go there and we take selfies with the calves. So that's really fun. We also have medical classes. So if you have students who are interested in the medical field or think they're interested in the medical field, those are some classes they can take as freshmen to figure out if that's what they want to do. Our big thing at Brandon Valley, like Mr. Schleckway said, is we want to expose students to help them figure out what they want to do, what they don't want to do. Okay? The sooner students can figure that out, the better. Okay? It's just as important for a student to figure out what they don't want to do as it is for them to figure out what they want to do. So, yes, we have the computer classes. They're awesome, okay? But we have other things too. So, one thing I do want to point out is in regards to the computer classes, those programming classes, so we have programming with gaming and then programming with robots, you do have to be taking geometry next year in order to take those programming classes. So if your student is not also taking geometry next year, it might be a good idea just to cross that one out, just so they know they cannot take a programming class. They do, so they would be able to take computer apps and digital productions. So computer apps 2 and digital productions would still be an option for them, okay? And then that brings us to Mrs. Willman.
All right, another required course for graduation requirements to hit those 22 credits is speech or oral interp. A student must take 1 semester of speech or oral interp. Oral interp is only offered in the fall, and oral interp requires students to be able to attend 4 speaking competitions outside of school. So speech in the classroom, giving speeches in front of your peers, and oral interp is more of a competitive competition. Both options allow students to earn the required credit, but just make note that oral interp students are required to attend all 4 of those competitions outside of the school building in order to earn that required credit. Oral interp can also be taken a numerous amount of times for fine art credits, similarly to band, choir, and orchestra. So if a student wants to earn the oral interp credit to count for their speech credit, and they really like it, they can continue with that in the future, and then that credit will jump into another bucket to help fulfill those requirements as well. So on your registration sheet, you will see speech or oral interp. Remember I said oral interp is only offered semester 1. So if that is your student, they want to take oral interp, do not look at the alphabet separation for registration. If your student does not want to take oral interp and they want to take speech, last names K through Z will sign up for semester 1. You'll see highlighted in green on the screen. And then last names A through J will sign up for semester 2. Go ahead and circle or highlight. All right, opposite of that, all freshmen are required to take geography. This is also half of a credit. So the semester that your student takes speech or oral interp, they will sign up for geography in the opposite semester. Students with last names A through J will sign up for geography semester 1. Students with last names K through Z will sign up for geography semester 2. All right. There is space at the bottom for you guys to choose elective courses. Mr. Schleckaway touched on elective courses. This is the bucket at the bottom. You have to get 5.5 elective credits to meet the required 22. These can be classes of your choice. So on the back of your registration sheet, that's where you can explore the elective classes and fill in the codes just as you would with any of the classes we did before. Speech, geography, PE, CTE, course codes that end in A are on the semester 1, course codes that end in B are on the semester 2 side. At the bottom, you will also see alternate subjects. So your students are filling out the form for what they hope their school day will look like when they come to high school. It is not guaranteed, though, that they will get in every single class that they want. So we highly encourage students to sign up for alternate classes. That means if a student's schedule does not work out 100% in their favor, we do our very best to try to get them placed in an alternate course instead. If a student does not put an alternate course in the registration, we will just have to pick a course for them in the office. So highly recommend filling in at least 3 or 4 alternate courses on the registration sheet. Oh, sorry, I don't think I was on the wrong slide. Here's what it looks like where you should be entering your alternates. All right. Students have an opportunity to take a study hall every single semester in grades 9 through 11, and they will still have an opportunity to have senior open periods. We recommend freshmen sign up for study hall. It helps with the transition. It gives extra time for homework. It's a nice break in the day, and it's good for students who are involved in extracurricular activities. And then as you see on the screen, all freshmen are required to take a lunch. It's already in. You don't have to register for it. Just like biology.
Okay, so next we are going to talk about music placement. So all music options for students, you're going to find them located under the year course options on the back of that registration sheet. So if your student is interested in taking choir, band, percussion, or orchestra, They will need to use those codes that you find on the backside under the year-long courses. They are split by semester, so again, you'll see there's a code that ends in an A and a code that ends in a B. You'll use both of those to register for the appropriate course that they're interested in. So freshmen interested in choir and that are currently in choir in 8th grade should register for that CHO1A and B. If they're interested in band, they'll register for that S-Band 1A and B. Freshmen interested in percussion would register for the PERCA and B. Just as a note, you do not register for percussion and band. You will pick one or the other. And then all freshman band students will participate in marching band. So just make note of that as well. If your student is interested in orchestra, again, that code is listed as well, and they'll register for that A and B code. You can take more than one fine art, so maybe your student is interested in band and choir, orchestra and choir, maybe they're in all three. We do support this. Sometimes that means mapping out how am I going to make sure I get all of those other requirements in my schedule by the time I graduate. That's why we're here. Come see your counselor. We will help you figure that piece out. And on the other note, students are not required to take a music. If these classes are not for you, these would all meet the fine art requirement. We have different fine art requirements for students who are not interested in these options listed here. Okay, so again, just a picture to highlight those course options that we just discussed. You'll also note too, maybe your student has never been in choir, but they're interested in learning more, but it's a little nerve-wracking jumping right into that class where there's been students who've had choir throughout the years. There is a course listed under semester 2 called Intro to Choir, and that is specifically for students who are interested in vocal music but have never taken a course in it. So you'll find that on the back under semester 2. Okay, world languages. 1 credit is required of either that CTE or world language, so it's a combination category. We offer 2 different world languages, American Sign Language up to 3 years, and then Spanish up to 4 years. World language requirements are not, or let me start that over. World language is not a requirement for high school graduation. It's not a requirement if your student is thinking about staying in state, in the state of South Dakota, and going to a 4-year school. Sometimes people have heard otherwise, but it is not a requirement for your student to take a world language to meet graduation requirements or to go to a South Dakota college or university. Now, if they are thinking about going to a 4-year school, maybe out of state, then we do encourage that your student takes 2 years at least of a world language and the same world language, because that's what some out-of-state schools may require. Talking about how your grades matter, how it's important. Already, we are going to be looking at your 8th grade grades in certain areas, specifically English for these classes. So finish strong, just like Mr. Schleckway said, because if you're interested in Spanish or ASL, we are going to be looking at those English grades. So you have a little bit of time to improve them if they're not there. Okay, and then you'll see on the back where you can find those world language options. Again, they're year-long courses, so you'll want to make sure that you're putting both the A and B code. All right, back to Mr. Schleckway.
You know, back on the study hall thing, I had a conversation with a freshman math teacher today that said she noticed a significant difference in stress levels of freshmen who have a study hall and freshmen who don't have a study hall specific to math. And I said, so what you're recommending that freshmen take a study hall? So she said it, she strongly encourages them to take a study hall. So just something to think about as you have those conversations at home. One-to-one computers, I mean, you guys are used to the Chromebooks and the one-to-one there. We will be one-to-one at the high school next year. We just don't know exactly what device yet. We hope to make that decision in the next couple weeks. We have been a MacBook Air school, so every student has a MacBook Air for their daily use. We are looking at different Windows devices along with comparing it to the MacBook Air. So we're not 100% sure which route we're going. I don't anticipate we'll be going Chromebook. I believe we need to go a step up because we are preparing them for college, and Chromebooks aren't utilized at the collegiate level. So I believe that that's our duty. We just don't know what that device will look like just yet. And yes, we have the parking and bus deadline date of July 25th. As you guys know, you'll be notified multiple times on the bus deadline, but we just coincide that with the parking, okay? The question gets asked is, my student may end up being able to drive halfway through the year. That is up to you. We were not at full capacity this year in the parking lot, but we're close. So, I mean, it's kind of if you want to wait, we do prorate it, but I can't promise you there'll be spots available. Freshmen park over at the central office across the street. Okay, we have about 120 spots over there, or maybe even a little bit more than that. Maybe it's like 150. And then they do utilize the crosswalk to come across. Final notes. Tomorrow, counselors will be in 8th grade classrooms. They'll be back the following Wednesday. August 6th is Freshman Unity Day. The 13th is Links Power Day. And the first day of school is August 20th. Here's our website. Okay, you can see the green arrows aren't on there, but all the registration, if you go to Brandon Valley High School, you click on that, and then you scroll down to the bottom. Okay, those are going to be this video will be uploaded there, along with the freshman course offerings and the registration form. There's a lot of classes in there, okay? Each of those classes have a description of what it's about, like digital production, okay? Programming with gaming, programming with robotics. Take some time, students, to go into that and look for classes that you might be interested in. Once again, I want to reiterate, if you are a fine arts heavy person and you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 fine arts, that's worthy of having a conversation with your counselor to maybe map out your plan a little bit. I don't want any fine arts student to think that they can't take something. It just might mean we shift something down. The other thing I forgot kind of towards the beginning was, if you have a student on an IEP, okay, so an individualized education plan, their plan might look a little different than some that's presented here. We do have a number of special ed teachers here today. Let's get there. A number of special ed teachers here today that'll be in the Commons and available. I know that Mrs. Neiman is here, for sure. Mrs. Oren is here. Mrs. Jurgensen, I thought I saw you. You're over here. Mrs. Dady is here. And then Mrs. Murphy is not here. Mr. Beaver is not here. And Mrs. Spildy, I believe, is not here. And a number of you, they have reached out to you that they are your case manager. Even if your case manager is not here, you can touch base with one of them. They're going to spread out through the Commons, and it can be any question that you have. What does it look like for the high school? How does the transition look? And things like that. So we want all of our students on IEPs to be comfortable coming to. Here are the counselors. They will be available in the Commons. You guys can head out there now in different areas. They're here to answer any questions that you might have. So don't be afraid to hit them up. And there is the administrative staff and counselors. So if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out over the next week. I always say that if you are sick on the day that they come back on that Wednesday, okay, and you are freaked out because you're sick and you have a fever and you think you have to get this sheet in, please don't come to school with a fever, okay? Just get the sheet in the next day you come back to school, and then they will get that over to us right away. I try to give a couple weeks here before I really dive into those numbers, which then determine what staffing requests I might need to make or what classes I need to add a teacher to and things like that. But with that said, amazing turnout. It's a lot of information. I hope we didn't overwhelm you, but please, when you think about your high school students, focus on 1 year at a time, okay? And we will walk you through that process. But we just appreciate your active participation tonight. I will have this video uploaded within hopefully an hour here, and then I will send you guys a PDF of the presentation. But thanks for coming. Counselors will be out there. If you are band, Mr. Nettestead would like to meet with everybody, all parents and students that will be interested in band or percussion next year. Thank you guys for coming.
All right.